Hello everybody, welcome to the Martial Art to Selling. I have an incredible, powerful topic for all of you business owners, entrepreneur, and salespeople. The topic for today is the 7 most important pillars to every business. Here's the problem that I've learned over the years with small businesses or startup businesses is that they build or they start to build their business on a weak foundation. So why is that? Because a lot of people start to focus on advertising, marketing, branding, and not the actual sales. Number 2, a lot of companies get sold into a lot of trickery things, deceitful things, embellishing and overselling things that are not practical. But you don't need to do that. The 2 most important pillars that every business always focuses on or should focus on is the right qualified leads and converting those leads into sales. Because without those 2, nothing else happens. So what we're going to talk about is not only qualified leads, how to convert those leads into sales. Make sure you have the right sales process, also the right salespeople that will lead to an increase in monthly cash flow, or what they call sales revenue, also increasing your annual revenue. And bottom line is more annual profits. And with all that's being said, the bonus is a high return on your capital or your investment. That's what it's all about. It's very simple. Does that make sense? So we're going to focus on these 7 pillars so that you can start and build your business on a strong foundation so that you can grow your business effectively and exponentially. Before we dig into the topic, let's go to the introduction. Welcome everybody. Before we dig into this powerful topic, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscription button below. Also, tap the notification so that you can be aware of the new content coming to you that I believe will truly help your business grow. And also share your comments. Now, the first thing that every business, especially startup businesses, small businesses, entrepreneurs, salespeople, the number one thing that every business should focus, and those companies that are successful always focus on, is the right leads, right? Now, let's be practical. We're all always searching for qualified leads. That's why we're on social media, because we want to make sales, right? But the question is, how do you get qualified leads today? I personally believe there's a lot more opportunities today to get better qualified leads than 20 years ago and 30 years ago when I first started cold calling. Does that make sense? So the number one thing is targeting and getting qualified leads. And my opinion and in my experience, the best qualified leads you can target to offer your product and services are your followers, your subscribers, and those that you come in contact with. And as I mentioned in the opening, what a lot of business people focus when they start a business, they focus on advertising, marketing, branding, but they don't really focus more on the sales part. And that's the most important, because without sales, you don't have a business. Does that make sense? So number 1 is the qualified targeted leads. Number 2 is how do you convert those qualified leads into sales? Does that make sense? So getting leads is one thing. And there are many avenues, as I mentioned, to get leads. But converting those leads into sale is where the rubber meets the road, right? Unfortunately, a lot of marketing companies, digital marketing companies, call centers, sales organizations don't really have really good conversion ratio or high conversion ratios. That's why they spend a lot of money on these automated systems to get a lot of volume, a lot of leads, but they have a very small percent of converting those leads into sale. So you're wasting a lot of time. So for me personally, I've avoided those mistakes where I don't pay for ads. I did one time, and I had more success me cold calling, getting my own leads and converting them into sale than I did getting all these leads. Because a lot of times those leads, if you don't know where they come from, you're just guessing. Like in the stock market, you just invest, but you don't know what you're investing. You're just speculating and guessing. But there has to be a strategy to not only getting qualified leads, but converting those leads into sales. Does that make sense, everybody? Are you with me? And are you following this? Follow me for number 3. And number 3 is very important that you develop and build a very strong sales process. You see, the problem is a lot of salespeople are never prepared. Why? Because they either have the wrong training, the wrong mindset, the wrong attitude, and the wrong sales process. When you have all those wrong things working against you, you're never going to be able to take those qualified leads and convert them into sale. So number 3 is very important that you develop the right sales process, an effective sales process. And then number 4 is the process means nothing unless you have well-trained salespeople. So number 4 is salespeople. Ask yourself this question. You as an entrepreneur, a small business owner, are you a good salesperson? If not, you should be. I believe every business owner, an entrepreneur, should be the best salesperson in his company or her company, or at least be one of the top. Why? Because you want to train the right qualified people to become great salespeople. Now, so if you got qualified leads and you're not converting them into sales, then you either have the wrong sales process, the wrong training, and or the wrong salespeople, or all of the above. That's why a lot of people have a hard time generating sales. So they're always trying to turn over new salespeople. Does that make sense? So number 3 is having the right sales process so that number 4, your salespeople can be effective in taking those qualified leads and converting them into sales. Why? As I mentioned to you before, bottom line, doesn't matter how much marketing, advertising you do, if you're not generating sales, you can forget about your brand because it's irrelevant. Does that make sense? So the first 4, number 1 is qualified leads. Number 2 is generating those leads into sales. Number 3 is having the right effective sales process through a strong foundation. Number 4 is having the right salespeople. Does that make sense? Are you with me so far? The moment you have all been waiting for. Now that you know the first 4 steps or the first 4 important pillars of the 7 to every business, what does this all mean if all the first 4 are solid? I'm glad you asked that question because these next 3 and the bonus coming will never take place if the first 4 are not implemented or done correctly. Now, let's dig into the results. Now, when you have the right qualified leads and you're converting those leads into sales, obviously if you have the right sales process and the right salespeople, here's what this means for you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and as a salesman. What it means is this: you will increase your monthly cash flow or your sales volume exponentially every single month. Why? Because if you target your leads and you know they're qualified, then you have a higher conversion ratio. It's that simple. The question is, how do you develop that conversion ratio? That's a whole nother topic. Now, once you have monthly cash flow, or you're increasing your monthly cash flow with minimal overhead, and you're converting a higher ratio, what automatically happens as a business owner, you start to increase your annual revenue. One trickles down to the other. The trickle effect. The compound effect. But it doesn't happen without number 1 or number 2. And number 1 and number 2 does not happen unless you have number 3 and number 4. You see how they all interact with each other? And then number 7 is once you increase your monthly cash flow and you increase your annual revenue, you start to hopefully generate a higher profit margin. It comes down to your expenses in your business. But the bottom line is when you have control over the first 4, then the next 3 or 4 follows each other. It's just that simple. Does that make sense, guys? So here's the bonus part. After all these first 7 steps are implemented and actions are taken and results are delivered and produced, now you generate a huge return on your investment. So instead of having to focus on advertising, marketing, and not worrying about your branding at that point, there are steps you can take to generate the right qualified leads. What is that secret? What is that step? Good old cold calling. Because you have absolute 100% control on the outcome and how you enter the sales process. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. Does that make sense, everybody? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscription button below. Do tap in the notification so that you can be aware of the new content coming to you. And also share your comments. Let me know what you think. For me personally, those who know me, I like to keep things simple. I don't like to make things complicated. Unfortunately, we as human beings, we intend to make things more complicated than what it should be. Does that make sense? So again, let's recap. The 7 most important pillars to every business plus the bonus. Number 1 is the qualified leads. Number 2 is converting those leads into sales. Number 3 is the right effective sales process through a strong foundation. Number 4 is having the right salespeople, training the right salespeople. Number 5 is increasing your monthly cash flow or your sales volume on a monthly basis. Number 6 is increasing your annual revenue. Number 7 is generating huge profits. And the bonus, number 8, is a high return on your investment capital. I hope this has been helpful. I want to thank you all for being part of the martial arts of selling. Till we speak again, I say goodbye. Have a great day.